really on that Tuesday, I wanted to play. And then it was, how is my body feeling? Is he going to be able to hold up? So at this point, as I sit here, I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
And I haven't been holding anything up at this point. It's been compensation that the Packers are trying to get for me, and kind of digging their heels in. So I would just, I think it is interesting at this point to step back and look at the whole picture. My side, love and appreciation, gratitude for everything that Green Bay has done for me. So much love and gratitude, and just heart open for the Packer fans and what it meant to be their quarterback. And also the reality of the situation, like it is what it is. The Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words. And because I still have that fire, and I want to play, and I would like to play in New York, it's just a matter of, getting that done at this point.
Okay, people in New York are doing this right now. Yeah. People in New York are pumped right now. And I appreciate you laying it all out there. I appreciate you detailing your side of it, why you feel the way you feel. Now, obviously, there's like 400,000 plus people watching. Not everybody will get to hear that. I hope everybody gets a chance to hear why you are in the position that you're in, and also why you chose to come on here today, because there's a lot of drama allegedly being built by you, dragging this out. Is this guy doing this? Because the last we had heard, and although you made your decision on Friday, the last we had heard is you were contemplating still wanting to play, or do you want to play for the Jets, or do you want to play?
And there it is, baby. Booyah. I still can't believe it. I'm still pinching myself, quite frankly, after everything that just transpired there. That, of course, my live reaction earlier today for the first time ever. We did a live stream with myself at the same time as the Pat McAfee show, and we all found out together the news. I'm still pinching myself. It still doesn't feel real, but it is. Aaron Rodgers made it publicly known to the universe that he is going to the New York Jets. He's playing football in 2023, and he will be playing for the New York Jets. Now, of course, the trade has to be figured out. We'll get into all of those latest details as well. But this was the piece. Jet fans, you can celebrate without any hesitation. Aaron Rodgers publicly saying he's going to be with the Jets means the rest of it is crossing T's, dotting I's. It's mere formality to make sure, again, that all of that ultimately ends up coming to fruition, which should be exciting for each and every one of you out there. Holy friggin' crap, baby. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. Let's get litty. Guys, no matter where you're watching or streaming live simultaneously in 3 different locations, Heavy on Jets Facebook page, 31,000 Jet fans, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. We just hit over 4,000 subscribers last night. Thank you. Golf clap to each and every one of you. Thank you. 4K, baby. Booyah. Next trip, 5K. And, of course, on Twitter as well, @BoyGreen25. This is the Boy Green and Buffalo Show. We're the only show I know of that alternates on each other's YouTube channel. This week, luckily for me, is my turn. So let's bring him in. The man who was with me a handful of months ago when I just decided to throw out my decision, my choice for the quarterback position, and that was Aaron Rodgers. So let's bring him in. The Buffalo Jet fan with, wow, a brand new background, which looks very nice. I like the lighting behind there. Very nice. Buffalo, welcome to the show.
What's going on, man? I gotta say, Boy Green,
yeah,
you were on it before me, but I did come to the light. Yes. You were on it months ago. I was on it weeks ago. We all grieve in different stages of where our Jets franchise is at. But man, and it's funny how no one will come back and say you were right. Right? It'll just be morph into different usernames. It really wasn't me, and then the goalpost will move. Okay, but it's not official. Okay, but they paid too much. Okay, but they're not a quarterback away. Okay, but he's washed. You love to see it. I want to be a New York Jet. I want to be a New York Jet. I want to retire. I don't want to go back to the Packers. I want to throw passes to Garrett Wilson. It's a beautiful thing.
That's exactly the way to put it. Again, so live, you're in the moment, you're in the heat of the moment, so I'm just reacting like a spaz. But then I go back because I was trying to I watched the entire Aaron Rodgers interview for a second time. That time, trying to pay attention as much as possible as if I wasn't already. And to hear the words Like, obviously, the Packers don't want me, and that's fine because I don't want them. I want to play in New York. I want to play with the Jets, and I'm just like, cannot compute. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just amazing. But yes, to your point, let's just address that real quick. I'm sure we'll get even deeper on your channel next week, where we can actually dive into the receipts once the trade is official and actually goes through and really go through all those comments, which I'm looking forward to. But that's the thing that I thought. I'm going to be honest. I had better faith in some Jet fans, that I thought there's going to be a lot more people eating the L's. And what I mean by that is that, like I said, oh man, Aaron Rodgers, people were like, oh, no way. There's no chance it's happening, you idiot. And then some of those people I saw crawl back into the mentions today, and I thought to apologize, which I'm like, okay, Hulk Hogan style, let me hear the apologies. Thank you very much. They're like, well, the trade's not official. Hold your horses, pal. To your point. I'm like, okay. And then there's another one. They're asking for 2 first-round picks. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. It's never going to happen.
That's damn right. It is never going to happen. It's going to drag out to the draft. It's going to drag out to June 2nd. The floating option, as Albert Breer said, goes all the way to September 7th. The Packers are geniuses. They can hold it over the Jets. That's where I'd like to start today's show, Buffalo. Is as much I'd like to celebrate, and I'm seeing all the comments in here, and we will. Today's show, we will have some craziness. Leverage is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Now, I said this on the show yesterday. I want to see if you agree. Yesterday, before knowing, obviously, whatever the hell Aaron Rodgers was going to say earlier today, which he did on the Pat McAfee show, I said the leverage at this moment in time, last night, is in the Packers' hand. They hold the hammer. However, I said if Aaron Rodgers goes on the Pat McAfee show and says, I want to be on the Jets or wear a Jets hat, he didn't wear the Jets hat, but he did say what we needed him to, all of a sudden the leverage is gone. As soon as Aaron Rodgers says, I want to play for the Jets, and by the way, he eviscerated the Packers throughout that conversation, whether on purpose or not, to say, do the right thing, do this. I've been, and I love the arrogance and the confidence. I'm the best player in Packers history. Like, show me a little respect if I want to go somewhere else. Because everyone was saying that the Packers will do whatever Aaron Rodgers wants. Now that Aaron Rodgers like, okay, I want to go to the Jets. They're like, whoa. Not unless we get 1 billion first-round picks, or else it's not going to happen. So right. I'm intrigued by leverage. I've heard that the leverage is actually with the Packers. They know the Jets need him. So, the Jets are up against it. Thoughts, Buffalo?
I think... who's had the leverage the whole time is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has the leverage. Yes. Now, I think I don't know how you could come away from today thinking the Packers got more leverage. That to me is crazy town. I don't understand that at all. He put their organization on blast. And now it's not only do you have to try and come up with getting some compensation for a guy who it's a foregone conclusion what team he's going to play for, because it's not even like they've hedged their bets. They don't want him back. Their owner last week talked about him like he was dead. And Aaron Rodgers brought that up too. So he's not a Packer. And now it's a PR thing where it's like, this is how they're treating multiple times now. They're treating some of the best players in the look. As a Jets fan, you can't dunk on how any franchises run things, but it's just a bad look that, okay, what's the common denominator? This is how it ended with Favre, kind of ugly ending. And now it's how it's ending with Rodgers. And he mentioned other guys that they did dirty, like Clay Matthews. And it's like, no, he came on there. He was very calm. He was measured. And it's like, they're not doing right by him. I think it's a PR thing for the Packers. All 3 parties want it done. Rodgers wants to be a Jet. The Jets want Rodgers. The Packers want to move on from Jordan Love and get some sort of compensation back. So the fact that it's in the interest of everybody involved makes me think it gets done sooner rather than later. But I'm done giving dates out there because there's officially no deadline. Like, there is officially no deadline because free agency wasn't the deadline because everybody is doing business assuming Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. Lazard's signing here. He doesn't care. Cobb will probably sign here if he wants to continue playing. So now it's like, well, okay, because that was the whole thing, is like you have to know who your quarterback is so other people can sign and you can do business. But if you're conducting business as if Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, man, I don't know if there's a deadline. But I think if everybody wants to get it done and now it's out in the open, I think the best thing for the Packers to do is just to wrap this up, because then their worst nightmare is he goes back on McAfee again and he's more pissed off and he rips them a new one.
Let me say this, and I think it's about time we do this. I'm so glad that so many national reporters caught some heat during that interview with Aaron Rodgers. And here I want to be specific. there were comments made earlier this week and late last week, for that matter, from Adam Schefter's of the world, Ian Rappaport's of the world. The Jets know nothing. That, by the way, is a direct quote. They have no idea what's going on, and there was energy. Those are tweets, and then there's energy. I'm watching the shows. I'm watching NFL Network. I'm watching ESPN NFL Live. I'm watching their Sports Center specials, and they deadpan, look at the bleeping camera, say the Jets have no idea what's going on. They're hanging in the dark, pun intended. And I said on our shows, I'm like, there's no way that's true. Jets, zero chance. The Jets have operated this entire time with a quiet confidence that they knew they were getting Rodgers or had a really good shot at him. And why else would you know that unless you had some inkling? And Aaron Rodgers, by the way, confirmed that today, that the deal has been done. It's been in place since last Friday. Today is Wednesday. The Jets have known this entire time. Legal tampering period, they knew Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. Free agency started a few hours ago. They knew Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. So as other quarterbacks are going off the board, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jets are getting dunked on left and right for not knowing, putting all their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and they knew the entire time. So I just want all those national reporters to just eat this. See it? Eat it. Eat all of it. Up in your grill, because it's been so annoying all week. And then all of a sudden, it was an immediate flip. I was mostly paying attention to the full Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee interview here in Buffalo, but Adam Schefter's like, oh, look, of course, he's coming to the Jets. Screw you, pal. Screw you. Screw Rap Sheet. Like, I enjoyed that thoroughly, by the way, on today's show.
It's so crazy how they could say that, because you know who's not telling them that? Aaron Rodgers or Joe Douglas. Like that information is not coming from either of those two parties. So how could you know? They know nothing when they met with him. It was been reported since the Super Bowl that the teams had been talking. Yes. They met with it. When was that they met with him? Last week or a week ago?
Yeah, they met with him a week ago, and they had been talking pre-Super Bowl. That has been confirmed. So what were they, slapping ass for the last month? Did they think like nothing? Like when they said there's no trade agreement, no contract discussion, then what the hell's been happening?
Yeah, what were they talking about, man? That's a lot. That's a long time to go. That's a long time to date and still be on first base.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. So there you go. But again, guys, in case somehow you missed it, again, Aaron Rodgers
Can I bring something else up, Paul, real quick?
Yes, please do, Buffalo.
I think that we owe, maybe apology is too strong of a word. Some people, it may be, depending on what you said. But not only, well, of course, to yourself and ours truly, we'll never get that. But more importantly, to who is soon to be our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I saw so many comments of, end this madness. It's a diva. This is drama. This is what you all signed up for. We should have just signed Carr. And Aaron Rodgers, all he has done is end his season, go on a show, do an interview with his friend, say, hey, yeah, I'm going to do this retreat, and then I'm going to let people know before the start of free agency so I don't hold anyone hostage. And what does he do? He goes on a retreat. He lets all parties know the week before free agency, keeps to his commitment. The holdup is not him. He wasn't mulling
That's
it
an
over.
important point.
He wasn't mulling it over till the 11th hour, like 11:59, and the Jets are like, oh my God, that was never a thing. And we all assumed that. And all the madness and the craziness was for psychopaths like you and me who are obsessing over it every single day for a month, or talking media heads who couldn't cope with the fact that they were left in the dark, or that Aaron Rodgers doesn't perfectly politically align with them, which we don't talk about that crap on this show, so who cares? And that's all it's been. And people getting so worked up for it. And it's like, what has this guy actually done that is so bad? Can somebody explain it to me? All he did was say, I'm going to take some time to make a decision. Here's when I'll make it. And then he makes it. And he comes out and says, I want to play on your football team. That's what we're offended by. One of the top 5 throwers in human history meets a deadline and says, I want to play for your team. And then sticks it to the team that we're trying to trade with and gives us leverage. Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? This guy is a Jets legend before he even put the helmet on. So those comments were always out of pocket, and they were based on nothing. They were based on assumptions about his character, and based on not real information, man.
You floated out the word that apology may be too strong. I don't believe it is. I think all of us, and not, I don't know necessarily me, because I don't think I blamed him, but the national media certainly blamed him, saying, and I can be blunt because I know Schefter said it at least 6 or 7 times. I know so did Rap Sheet. Aaron Rodgers is the one holding this up. Lies and bullshit. Aaron Rodgers made it clear as day and transparent as hell that the Packers are the one that have been holding this up. They are the ones that are dragging their feet. They are the ones that, direct quote here verbatim, dug their heels in terms of compensation, and they're trying to get all unbelievable picks, according to Aaron Rodgers, which, by the way, the Jets will not be paying. And by the way, they don't have to pay, which, again, we'll get into here shortly. But yes, 100% point of clarity. It's not been Aaron Rodgers' fault. He's been clear. Apparently, the deal's been done since last Friday of him letting the Jets know, hey, I want to play for you. Let's do this thing. Recruiting free agents, doing all those pieces of the puzzle. And again, it is on the Green Bay Packers. So all the fans that were blaming Rodgers, say we should move on to Buffalo's point, I want to say something a lot more foul, but just
relax.
Relax. Yeah.
Hey, Boy Green, very important update. Go to my Twitter. There's a live look at the leverage that the Packers have over the Jets. I don't know if you could put it up on the screen.
Oh, of course.
I just tweeted out a live look of the crucible of leverage that the Packers have over the New York Jets.
Let me see. Let me throw this up on the screen for everybody. This is Buffalo Jet Fans Twitter account, at Buffalo Jet Fan, if you guys would like to see it. And boom. Wow. Look at that. Look at that leverage.
Look how they're holding on.
It's a squeeze. That's a squeeze. Those buttons are holding on for dear life. You could see that. That's again. So the other part of this, let's address the trade front. Our boy Trey Wingo, who, by the way, I put out a custom Trey Wingo jersey. Well, I'm not kidding. We should be paying for that, baby. And that is simply this. Trey Wingo, earlier today on PFN, the Pro Football Network, says this trade is, quote, 99% done, and that, of course, he's coming to the Jets, and obviously I think all of us understand that now at this point, but 99% done. So the people who say, well, they could, Aaron Rodgers can say he wants to go to the Jets, but many, many details have to be figured out. It could take an unbelievable amount of time. 99% done sure sounds like sooner rather than later. And again, I think you're right, Buffalo. It's a better and behooves the Packers to wash their hands of this and just get it on, because they've caught enough L's. All of the Mark Murphy, he said all those things publicly. They just have to eat whatever it's going to be, take the trade that's going to be. Again, I'm not saying Rodgers getting traded for a conditional 7th round pick. I'm not saying that, but it's not 2 firsts. To me, the package I've been saying for weeks is a 2nd and a 4th. The 4th is conditional, 2nd this year, straight up. And then the 4th can be Aaron Rodgers comes back next year. Aaron Rodgers and the team has some level of success, playoff, Super Bowl, whatever.
Yeah.
Then
he's on the roster by past some date.
Whatever. Yeah. Exactly. So I think we could be there from that standpoint. I think that is it. So 99% done.
I don't think a condition. I don't think there's a single unconditional first in the deal.
Oh, isn't that lovely? I did not notice this yet, but Mr. McMoney dumping some of his sweet funds for our super chat here on our live Buffalo Boy Green show here. After 12 years of misery, hashtag 12 comes to save us. By the way, I know a lot of you probably did not stay for the entire Aaron Rodgers thing. Maybe you just heard he was good. He wants to go to the Jets and you left. I saw a lot of the numbers fluctuating, so maybe that's what happened. But for those who don't know, I'll tweet out the clip, I'm sure, at some point. And it'll be saucier later. But he was asked, so Joe Namath offered number 12. You taking number 12? He said today was about clarifying points, so he doesn't want to. There will be a time and place for that. But he said he did see it from Namath about the 12. So he didn't lean one way or the other. So maybe 12 will be dusted off for old A-Rod. So maybe we'll see that. There you go. Mr. McMoney there. Guys, feel free to get the comments going. Again, this show by the people for the people. This is a celebration, and we'll be going through some free agency quotes and notes. Jets lost a couple of other guys today. I'll also ask Buffalo who are some free agents on his wish list. Again, not demands, Buffalo. I don't want it to be misrepresented in the media, of course. That would be terrible. But perhaps some free agents you would suggest you would pigeon mail potentially to Joe Douglas and the Jets and let them know what's going on. But you guys can feel free to ask a few questions through on the YouTube Super Chat feature. And, of course, it's for free. Like the video, hit subscribe, join the 4,000 strong on the Boy Green YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. Let me see. Any of the press conference nuggets? I'll throw a few out here, Buffalo. Feel free to throw any that intrigued you at all. These are just notes from earlier. Again, Aaron Rodgers said that he was 90% retired heading into the darkness retreat. Take that for what you will.
Before he said he was wanted to play for the Jets, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Also, by the way, just in general, this is just an overall sense. So, obviously, the live stream starts at like 1:05-ish with Aaron Rodgers jumping in. And he immediately says, hey, just so you know, this isn't decision day. And I'm like, oh, God. And
I thought it was gonna be a nothing burger, bro.
Yeah, I did, and I'm like, there's no friggin' way. Especially with Pat McAfee, who sent out or he announced at the beginning of the show again. So they were on at 12. Aaron Rodgers came on at 1, so he had an hour of time to fill. And at the beginning of the show, he said Aaron Rodgers texted him the previous night, which would have been Tuesday night at 5:00, and said, "Hey, I think it's time for everyone to know where my head's at." So if he said that and Pat McAfee said that on the show and then he gave us a friggin' nothing burger, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed. But anywho, it leaned that way initially. It's like, this isn't a decision day. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. And he's like, that decision's been made for days. And I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me? And then he went on this long Packers love fest and eventually said, yeah, so I want to play for the Jets. Boom. And then all of a sudden, hell breaks loose. So 90% retired heading into the darkness retreat, 10% play. And he said the Packers going into the darkness retreat told him, hey, man, if you want to come back, door's wide open for you. That's a direct quote. When he got out, they're like, Jordan Love time. And he went, the fuck? And, excuse my Guatemalan here on the show, but he was pretty upset about all that. So, again, I think that just continues to play into the leverage. Any other quotes, notes that stood out from the Aaron Rodgers thing before we go on to some other topics here?
No, man, I think you hit it on the head. I just the fact that he said, I want to play for the New York Jets, man. Crazy. I listened to that so many times, and I thought I was hoping Pat would have asked him about more about the Jets' young players, like the Cheesehead, and then recruiting him on social media.
Agreed.
And stuff like that. They didn't really get into that, but man, I think that he. Now, look, of course, once he becomes or says he wants to be a Jet, we're going to start being homers for him. But I really think that I don't understand why people hate this guy so much. He comes across as pretty chill and pretty measured, and he wants to be on our team. This isn't like you were drafted by the Jets or you aren't a player with a ton of options in life. Like, this guy was looking at, okay, do I want to retire, stay where I am? Do I want to explore? Like, if Aaron Rodgers' agent put it out there to other teams, you think there would have been at least one other suitor? I mean, come on, we knew the madness of it that it was last year, and the fact that he wants to be a Jet. And credit to Saleh and JD. I've had my criticisms of both of them, but man, 2 years ago we were watching, even 3 years ago, we were watching Frank Gore catch a dump off and fall backwards on his rear end to beat the Rams and lose out on Trevor Lawrence. Look at that roster. Like, if you want to criticize Joe Douglas, I'm not saying he's perfect, but look at the 2019 roster. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't even been on his radar at all. And credit to Saleh for being, I think he's an excellent communicator. I think that's something that's underrated about him. I think he's a guy, he can kind of give that college coach recruitment pitch. That's not enough. You need some more X's and O's and some improvements in other areas. But it's just a great get for our team. I really think it speaks highly of our coaching staff, our young talent. That's intriguing. And of course, the man working the strings, Joe Douglas. Love to see it.
100%. And really, if you really think about it, it's kind of crazy how much of the positive vibes around the New York Jets are based solely on the draft class. Now, again, I'm not saying the rest of the Jets roster is crap, but it's benefited by Garrett Wilson, offensive rookie year, Sauce Gardner, defense rookie year, and then kind of the rest of the class, Breece Hall, and all these guys are like, wow, look at these guys. If you wipe away that draft, I wonder if the same affinity is there for this roster. So it's fascinating that Joe Douglas has been able to turn it over relatively quickly to add all these blue chip players again to a point where Aaron Rodgers says, looks at the roster, of course, I want to come here to the Jets. So, again, pinch myself. We can enjoy every layer of this as we get closer and closer, of course, to the 2023 NFL Draft. We ultimately find out the compensation for all this as well. Let's get to this super chat coming in from AP_14. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. It keeps the gasoline in the machine, so to speak. We appreciate it. Just some fun suffering. Nick Wright says Rodgers is going to be a disaster with us. And Coward said, we still aren't a playoff team. Let's go, boys. To me, let me put this on the simplest form, and I'll let Buffalo jump in. Playoff team is, of course, they're a playoff team. Like Derek Carter, like, wow, playoffs. Like Aaron Rodgers, like Super Bowl. That is, in the cleanest way, the best way I can put it. So people are going to hate. Of course, they're going to hate on the Jets naturally, but Rodgers being a disaster, I just don't see how he is. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible with the way this roster is, and Aaron Rodgers not falling off a cliff. Like last year, he had the thumb, and then the Packers disorganization and dysfunction and all that. I think Rodgers on the Jets is just a home run, and I think it's going to be great. And we will see, obviously, what it continues to spin out to. So I don't see the disaster thing. They're not a playoff team. It's just stupid. People are just going to point to the AFC and say, hey, look how good it is. If the Jets are as good as we believe they are, it's not going to matter about everybody else. They're going to worry about their own business. But any thoughts on that?
Oh, man. Oh, hold on. Sorry, bud. My computer. Okay, you're like frozen for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So,
I gotcha. I gotcha. You're good. You're good. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
I thought it was a restart. You were like in and out and freezing on me for like 2 minutes. I was trying to fix it. All right. Give me that last bit again.
No, just real quick. What do you think of? Just answered the super chat real quick. Any thoughts on this super chat that's lying in front of us here?
Oh, of course. Yeah. All of the talking heads now are going to move the goalpost because, of course, first it wasn't. Aaron Rodgers is never going to come here. And now he's going to come here and blow up our young core, our young ascending team that was going to look. Paul Boy Green, I don't know if you heard this, but Aaron Rodgers is going to come here and we're going to have to replace Jeff Smith with Randall Cobb.
Oh, gosh.
And Kenny Yeboah. You remember how Kenny Yeboah had that Hail Mary catch from James Morgan in the
preseason
game in 20?
Nice.
You know that poster you have, that frame poster of the picture of that catch? It's got to come down. It's got to come down for a poster.
Did you see the Jason Fitz thing? Again, I've got his number. I've known Jason Fitz for a little bit. That may have been one of the
the ESPN guy.
He is the ESPN guy, and he's a former musician, and then he transitioned to ESPN. And his take that went viral on social media was, the Jets are going to have to blow up their entire young core with this Aaron Rodgers wish list.
God,
that may have been, again, I know Jason, and that may have been one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Well, and it's the biggest thing they've done so far. Sign Allen Lazard, they literally got younger at Z receiver. They got, and I don't think Allen Lazard is amazing. I think he's fine. Yeah. They got a durable Z receiver who's in his prime, who is the teammate of the quarterback they're about to get. I mean, and also you have to, guys, the Jets only have how many receivers under contract? Wilson, Lazard, Moore, and Davis, but he's gone. And
Mims.
So you need 6 receivers. So they're going to have to sign somebody. They're going to have to add depth. They're going to go into the training camp with at least 4 or more tight ends on the roster. Like, they have to fill out the roster. And if you're filling out the bottom of the roster, why not give it to guys that Aaron Rodgers is more comfortable with? It's Jeff Smith and Kenny Yeboah is who we're talking about. And Allen Lazard is a guy I genuinely think the Jets would have had interest in, even if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers. Why not? Even if they would have signed Derek Carr, why wouldn't they have signed Allen Lazard? So I don't understand that at all. And also, we talk about this young core as if they're going to be together for 12 years. Like, this is the NFL. It's not how that works. In 2 seasons, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson are going to be commanding contracts of like $130 million combined. You know what I mean? Like, you're operating in a window. You're operating in a 2 to 3 year window. How do you maximize that window? Hopefully with Zach Wilson on a rookie contract. Okay, that didn't work out.
Well, right. Yes.
Plan B, you could do a hell of a lot worse than Plan B and Aaron Rodgers. And I get it. Like, there's some other options, Derek Carr, Jimmy G. But to me, you're not a quarterback away. Well, then why give $150 million to Derek Carr if you're not a quarterback away? And if you are a quarterback away, then get the best damn quarterback you can. That's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's the simplest way to put it. Again, everybody, it's Boy Green. It's Buffalo. We do the show every week on the show, every Wednesday, and then every other Wednesday it flips to the other person's channel. So, guys, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe down below, and also get involved in the comment section. YouTube Super Chat feature is available for all of you. I've got a few questions for Buffalo that I really want to dive into here, and we'll start off with free agency. The Jets lost a couple of guys, some interior defensive line depth. Nathan Shepard, the legend himself. What did Robert Saw call him? The king of strain. He is gone. He is going to the New Orleans Saints on a much higher level. Oh, we got a new member, by the way. Let me give a shout out here. London Jet fan joining the group. Baby Boy Green Super Fan Club, by the way. Join the membership group and support the show on a month-to-month basis. Appreciate that, London. That means a lot. Thank you. Quick shout out there. Sheldon Rankins is heading down to Houston. Got a pretty rich deal for a 1-year deal, $10 million and change. So interior defensive line depth was non-existent heading into free agency, and obviously now with these options expiring, they're gone. And before I throw it back to you, a guy I really wanted, I'm going to be honest, we're going to talk about free agents in a second that we want. The Jets were in on Fletcher Cox, the Philadelphia Eagles interior defensive lineman. The Jets apparently, according to a few people, and sorry I didn't get all the sources on that. It wasn't from me, so it's not my source. It's whoever on Twitter, that the Jets offered Fletcher Cox more money, and he still went back to the Eagles, which I don't think should be like a sad thing, like, oh, wow, the Jets are losers. Like, he's been in Philadelphia forever. And I actually met Fletcher Cox in a Mississippi airport once. He's from down there. He's a nice guy. And he's a Quinnen Williams idol. He really likes him. That would have been super cool. Would have really liked that, but he's off the board. So a lot of interior defensive line depth questions there. Buffalo, how concerned are you in that room? Losing those two guys today and then kind of losing Fletcher Cox, who they were going after.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it, but they just re-signed Solomon Thomas to a 1-year deal. Worth up to
I did just miss that.
Yeah, Tom Pelissero had it right before I popped on. So they re-signed Solomon Thomas for a deal worth up to $4 million. Solly Thomas, I love him as a person. To be honest, he was kind of a non-impact player on the field last year. Now, the thing is with Shepard and with Rankins, I wouldn't want to touch what they got paid. Like, good for them, but Sheldon Rankins getting $11 million, and that's in the no tax state. So that's $13-14 million in Jersey dollars, right? Yeah, it's interesting because remember Mike McCagnon? That's like the only thing we had on the team was defensive tackles.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I think, but I'm not that worried about it. I think add a body. I like somebody put it out. I think it might have been you who put it on Twitter. Didn't you say Calais Campbell? Did you mention that name?
Yes, we will get to that in a minute. By the way, quick nugget just coming in: Patriots signing James Robinson to a 2-year deal.
Yeah, 2 years deal worth up to $8 million.
Interesting. So we'll see him again, I guess, real soon. But yes, we'll get into the free agents that I'm interested in. He is on my list, absolutely.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I like him. I'm not that well. To be honest, we'll see how the defensive line shakes out because I think if we do lose Rankins and Carl Lawson,
we did lose Rankins, but yeah. So we'll see.
Well, I'm saying like both, right? Because I think going into the season,
you end up losing both. I see what you're saying.
I think going into the season, I was like, okay, you want to try to find a way to keep one of those guys. So now Rankins is gone. So now if you lose Lawson, like those guys are two pretty important members of the pass rush, and I think it's just assumed that we have this defensive line depth and the pass rush is going to be fine. And I have confidence in the young edges. I think Solomon Thomas when he was out, he was sorely missed in the middle of that defense and the pressure he created. So. I don't think you're going to be able to replicate it on the cheap. I think you're going to have to just rely on Joe Douglas. Can you get a guy who can play right away, like in the 3rd round?
100%. And yes, the Solomon Thomas nugget that you shared, he is back, $3.9 million. Nice former first rounder. I know the coaching staff loves him. Depth, nothing crazy, but they needed bodies, quite frankly, with what they had. All right, I'll throw mine two up here, and then we'll answer a super chat. I saw we have that in here, but I'll throw up my free agents first. And Buffalo, feel free to look around, or if you have some names already. These are 2 names I threw out there, guys. It's on my Twitter again, @BoyGreetG5, baby. Feel free to join the party. Here are 2 free agents that I would like to see the Jets aggressively pursue. And I also have in the thread that, again, Fletcher Cox would have been very high on my list. Obviously, he has returned to the Philadelphia Eagles. Calais Campbell, a monster of a man, 6'8", been around the game forever. He did confirm that he wants to come back for another year. So, again, could be in part of that ring-chasing crew. He's a massive defensive lineman, a former Walter Payton Man of the Year, so a big leader guy. Obviously, Joe Douglas has connections to the Ravens organization, could know him from his time over the last couple of years to check in on him. He's a guy that I don't think would be crazy expensive because, again, I think he is searching for that championship ring, but he could have a decent chunk of change. And then, obviously, the top of the safety market, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, CGJ, is a guy I'm interested in. Earlier today, the Eagles were, quote-unquote, aggressively trying to re-sign him, but that had not been official. These are 2 names I love, Buffalo. I'm going to be straight up. Calais Campbell, defensive line, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Calais Campbell will give the Jets some depth up front, some beef, and I think CGJ would make the Jets secondary unquestionably the best in the NFL as an overall group, pairing him with Chuck Clark, who the Jets officially traded for today with the official new league year coming in. What do you think of these guys? And also, feel free, do you have any free agents on your wish list, Buffalo?
Well, I think they're both excellent fits. I think Campbell is a little bit more realistic just because of price, and I think he's done some inside outside, so I think there's some versatility there, and he fits what they want in that like defensive tackle. That's because they want all 4 guys to be able to get after the passer at any time, and I think he had some tread left on the tires. Remember in Baltimore, the home opener, we couldn't block him. I remember that.
That's true.
Pretty vividly. So I like that one. CJ Gardner-Johnson seems like just every offseason the past few years, I feel like we wanted that big safety, whether it was Marcus Williams, they wanted to trade for Jesse Bates, they wanted to sign Jesse Bates, and then CJ Gardner-Johnson. CJ Gardner-Johnson, I think he's my favorite fit for the Jets of any player who's still a free agent. This dude is a Swiss Army knife. 70+ tackles, 6+ interceptions, a couple of sacks. Watch the Super Bowl, he's flying through my TV. He would, I agree, immediately the Jets have the best secondary in the NFL. Now, here's the thing. Pretty costly. Let's say, I don't know, what's per year, what do you think you have to cough up for him?
His market projection value is at $13.3 million per season. He was projected to land a 5-year deal for $66 million, according to the folks over at SpotTrack.
Okay. And I think
that's right inside the top 10, I believe, in safety highest paid in the league, according to Over the Cap.
Okay. So, all right. So let's say it's 13,
borderline
14.
top 10 money. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Let's call it 14 million just to be on the high end, because it's always a little higher than we think.
Of course.
14 million, but cutting Jordan Whitehead saves you $8 million. So you're really talking about a net $6 million for what it, in my opinion, would be a massive upgrade, especially because Jordan Whitehead and Chuck Clark are both two guys that you'd prefer to be in the box. So I think Clark and CJ Gardner-Johnson would be a huge upgrade over Whitehead and Joyner, and obviously the corners were already elite. So that would be that'd be money. Some guys on my list, I really like Isaac Semialo, who's a guard for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, obviously, this comes with the caveat that, well, I think he's his second best offensive lineman on the market. Number one is Orlando Brown. That's not happening. He's going to get $22+ million, and he would want to play him at left tackle. Dwayne Brown doesn't play right tackle. It just doesn't make any sense for the Jets. But I think he's the second best offensive lineman on the market. We need an offensive lineman, and that would come with, obviously, if they want to play AVT at right tackle, which I think is probably unlikely. They probably play him at guard. But to me, if you can get a 28-year-old borderline Pro Bowl guard who's durable, and you stick him in, and that's the right side of your line, him and AVT, now we're cooking with some gas on the offensive line. Obviously, the safety market is, you have guys like Julian Love and Adrian Amos. I think that's the kind of the way they go. I think they're going to replace Jordan Whitehead with a $6 to $8 million a year safety who's better in coverage. Probably not going to be CJ Gardner-Johnson. That's okay. Another defensive tackle in the Calais Campbell range, a guy who they brought in last year for a visit, is Linval Joseph, who maybe if he wants to give it a go. And I think the thing with Linval is, it's like, can we just get one defensive tackle who can stop the run? Like just one of them, just one of them to play 30% of the snaps and stop the run. He's a big 330 pounds. Obviously he used to be a Pro Bowler, but that's not his game anymore. Come in 1/3 of the snaps, be nasty against the run, good fit in the locker room, all that stuff. So he's a sort of one of those bargain bin free agents that I think could go a long way on this team. Also, some sort of, I think we probably need a linebacker, man. Obviously, I want Quan back, but I think another linebacker in the room as well.
Yeah, by the way, quick nugget on that for those who don't know. Here's an interesting nugget from Zach Rosenblatt. Linval Joseph, they tried to sign him 2 different times last year. One pre-training camp or training camp, that range. The Mekhi Becton injury happens. They end up using all that money for Dwayne Brown. They make a second run at him in the middle of the season, but they didn't have, obviously, the same amount of money that they had earlier in the year. He ends up going to Philly, and, they end up going to the Super Bowl. So, interesting stuff. They tried 2 times previous. It's the 3rd time the charm chasing that guy. There is a lot of, obviously, connective tissue from that standpoint. So, I like some of those names. Let's go to another YouTube Super Chat. Again, this option's available for everybody. A nice, shiny color here and supporting the program. Chris K. the Fifth, $5, which fits the Chris K. the Fifth title. I love it. Rodgers versus Samini. Squash, match. Anyone worried about Rodgers handling the New York media? Have no fear. He just owned the national media with ease. Yeah, I saw one of the things I just like. By the way, Rich Samini no longer has me blocked, so I appreciate that. That's very nice of Rich randomly during this offseason to open up the shackles. I really appreciate that. So it's easier to just kind of read.
You get blocked? You catch a lot of strays on Twitter.
I
man.
do.
You're very polite. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but hey, different strokes, different folks. I'm just glad that, again, I have been welcomed back into the club, which is kind of nice. The thing that kind of bothered me about speaking of some media today, which may get me blocked again, I suppose, so maybe I should keep this to myself. Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm going to throw this up on the big board. And again, this goes back to where we started the show with leverage. And going to you, Chris K, on this, so I think you may appreciate this. So Rich Samini tweets out this. I'm throwing it up on the big board. Green Bay has no urgency. He tweeted this out at 3:11, so after the Pat McAfee stuff, obviously. Green Bay has no urgency to make this trade now. Could slow play it to the draft, waiting for the Jets to buckle. Right now, Rodgers counting $31.6 million of Green Bay's cap. It goes to $40.3 million if traded before June 1st. Huge bonus, not due until week 1. No downside to wait except headache. Stare down. Who blinks? By the way, Ritsamini, which again, I fully appreciate not being blocked anymore. But I will just say in general, the thing that kind of just gets in my crow that you say, ho, 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 headache for the Jets. Wouldn't it be a headache for the Packers? Because Aaron Rodgers isn't getting benched. If Aaron Rodgers is in Green Bay, which, by the way, Aaron Rodgers totally shut this down to the Pat McAfee show. He said there is no chance, it's not realistic, that if the Packers say, we want this unbelievable thing, the Jets say, well, we're not paying that unbelievable thing, that I would go back. He said, let's be real. Let's read the room. They don't want me. Jets want me. I want to go. So Aaron Rodgers already addressed this fun fact, but specifically on this, it would be a distraction for Green Bay. You're trying to hand the keys to the franchise to Jordan Love, and you, the Packers, are holding this thing back from happening by keeping Aaron Rodgers there. Like, that could be an entire crap show. So I think, as Samini tried to point out, like, oh, the Packers can push the Jets up against it. I feel like the Jets could push the Packers up against it. Aaron Rodgers already said he wants to be here. So, again, I feel like the leverage play is kind of lost on me personally, Buffalo. I don't know if you have anything else to add to this. We beat this earlier, but...
Well, I think it's just the fact that it goes two ways. Like, yes, that from a Jets perspective, I would like the deal to be done. You want to have your quarterback. You want it to be official. As much as we're kind of celebrating, but yeah, to be honest, like I'm gonna really pop my champagne when it's officially the transaction has been processed through the league. But I think it's just a little bit of the negative Jets angle. Like, whatever it is, it has to be negative because LOL Jets, and that's only going to go away once Aaron Rodgers comes here officially and we do some winning. I can't imagine. Like, I saw that tweet from Rich Samini, and I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not like a professional troll. I really have tried. I really, really have tried, and I tried to, like, as someone who's kind of has a somewhat of a decent platform on Jets Twitter, not be an asshole to him. Sorry to curse, but
very nice. A decent following. What a flex there by Buffalo saying that.
Well,
very nice.
Yeah, a little bit. Some people watch what I have to say. But it's like, man, Rich, how can you come away with that thinking that the Packers gained leverage in that situation? I don't see it. I think there's more I think there's more pressure on the Packers, but all parties want to get it done, so let's just get it done.
By the way, random thing. I know we brought up the James Robinson thing earlier, but I just want to kind of fully appreciate Chris K. By the way, thank you so much for the super chat. I see we have another one coming in, so James, just hold on a second. But the fact of the matter that the Jets are on a day getting Aaron Rodgers, like, unofficially, like, New England's digging through our scrap heap. Like, the Jets didn't tender James Robinson. We said, no, we're good. Like, it's pretty cheap. No thanks. And New England's like, you want to see a big move? Boom. We just took James Robinson. We're like, I see. Like, New England is so clearly in last place. Like, it's not even funny. And I can't wait now. And I know, Buffalo, you said you're going to wait. I'm not waiting. I obviously saw my reaction to start this whole show. Like, I'm in now. The Aaron Rodgers said it. I feel like the rest is a formality. It would be different if Aaron Rodgers still didn't say publicly, and I was even hearing from the Schefter's reports, wow, this trade's getting closer. I'm like, well, I still want to hear from Rodgers. Now that I've heard from Rodgers, I know the rest of the stuff is going to get figured out. And I just have to say, now that I know Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback, can't wait to buy that jersey, by the way. And the thing I can't wait for is Aaron Rodgers going into Foxborough and us bending New England over the barrel and showing them the 50 states and just running it up. Just Rodgers touchdown! His fourth touchdown of the game to Garrett Wilson and Patriots. Like, what's happening? We're cellar dwellers, suckers! Like that. Oh, I'm looking forward to that thoroughly coming up for the season, man. Thoroughly.
It's going to be amazing. Wait. It's going to be amazing.
No. All right, let's throw another YouTube super chat up there. James Alba, we got like a Coach Alba perhaps on here. I appreciate the headset. Would be interested in exploring Dalton Reisner, the interior offensive lineman has played both center and offensive tackle in college at Kent State. Remember him coming out of the draft. Connection with Hackett from Denver. Yeah, this is a thing in general. James, I love the super chat. Thanks for the support, pal. There's some obvious guys that we've talked about again, Cobb, Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, those kind of guys that are like obvious connections, but there's going to be deeper level ones with guys like your coaches, like Keith Carter to the Ben Jones Titan center, which could be the guy again. I've heard some concussion issues from Titans people where he could retire, but that's just a potential option. So the Titans connections, you have Hackett, his connections in Jacksonville, Denver, Green Bay. So there's multi-layered approaches with some of these new coaches coming in, which could also add guys. So Dalton Risner, sure, because the Jets lost Nate Herbig. I think we talked about it earlier in the week. That one didn't surprise me. I know Green Bean was upset about it because he really wanted him back. Again, it takes two to tango. Nasty Nate had a much better starting. I believe he went to Pittsburgh of getting better money and then potential to start in Pittsburgh. Here, He clearly would have been the backup. So
it's like Morgan Moses last year. Oh, he let Morgan Moses go. Like, no, he wanted to play.
Come on. It's the same thing with the Teddy Bridgewater thing. If we're going even further back, it's like, why'd you trade him? He was a superstar. He wouldn't stay. Sam Darnold drafted with the 3rd overall pick. Why the hell would he have stayed? Spoiler alert, he wouldn't have. So again, some of the hindsight we get further away from it. We're like, oh man, how does this happen? But so maybe Risner, to your point, maybe he can be that Nate Herbig level. Again, depth is important, and we saw the offensive line injuries last year. Hopefully that means that we're getting the other side of the luck train of that not getting it as much. We can only hope. But a good point here from Dalton Risner. That's another area of need. Overall areas of need, potential free agency. Again, safety. Again, they have the backdoor option with Whitehead. It's no guarantee that I think they get rid of him, but they can. By the way, Corey Davis still floating on the roster. I still have an inkling, Buffalo. I think I told you this a few weeks ago. I still have a very strong inkling that Corey Davis getting traded to Green Bay. I think he's part of the trade. I feel pretty good about that. I really think he is. Man.
I think so too, and there was that buzz about that in the middle of last year. And the thing is, the Packers aren't just going to want a bunch of rookies around Jordan Love. They want to evaluate and support this young quarterback. So hey, you throw him a veteran receiver who's on an average contract for his skill set. And if not, I think he's flipped for a day 3 pick somewhere else. I don't think he's a straight up cut. I do think the Jets get something in return from Corey Davis, and I could definitely see him being involved in the Rodgers deal.
All right, we got a double dip here. Not only a YouTube super chat, but also a member of the Boy Green Super Fan Club. Boop, 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 boop. Very nice in gold. That's a great color. It's a great color because Aaron Rodgers, of course, coming from the green and gold, baby, showing his support for the show. Paul, congrats on 4,000 subscribers. I appreciate that. Kevin, my wife, and I met you at the Ravens game, which was cool season opener. By the way, just like quick TO, when the schedule comes out in May, we're going to start picking some sexy games. Here's one that I'm planning on going to. It's a road game. My dad is a diehard Cowboys fan. I'm planning on going to AT&T Stadium for the first time, and it plans on being the Jets-Cowboys game, and that will probably be primetime. The Jets have a lot of primetime opportunities: Chiefs, Chargers, Giants. I just mentioned the Cowboys one, and then all the divisional games are up in the air too. So I'm looking forward to picking whatever that game is. Hopefully it is a week 1 home game against some sexy opponent. That'd be great to kick. I can't wait to go back to MetLife, baby. That's going to be amazing. It was our pleasure. Ed, awesome to meet you and everybody else I met. Shout out to Middle Initial Pod being a part of their pregame setup last year. You're a gentleman. Oh, stop it. Thank you, Ed, and thanks for the support. We appreciate it. I did not get to see Buffalo, of course. He was 7 beers deep in some random parking lot. I hope he saw some of the game, or he's like, are we playing the Saskatchewans? Yeah. This is the NFL, Buffalo. What's happening here? So
thank goodness I was liquidated for that bleep fest, man.
Oh, that's a good point. Again, I had a lot of positivity, optimism in that game. Like, oh man, Flacco's just got to figure out. He knows the AFC North, man. He's
we were coping so hard with Joe Flacco, man.
Think about that for a second, which is a great detour here randomly, right? We're getting Aaron Rodgers. He was the MVP of the league 2 out of the last 3 years. Joe Flacco, who I guess was at one point the Super Bowl MVP, but let's be honest, we're like, oh boy, Flacco, he's looking good. Remember, we sold it. Oh wow, he's looking great in training camp. You know what? Maybe Joe Flacco, he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. And then look what happened. So now we don't have to go from selling that anymore. Aaron Rodgers, the sell is within itself. Which again, it's spectacular, man. To be in this spot right now is just giddy. We haven't been there since 15 years. It was even like Mark Sanchez was a rookie, like Brett Favre. You're like, oh shoot, we got Brett Favre, baby. So now we got Aaron Rodgers, who is unbelievable. So man, I am excited. Another super chat coming in from Baki, my main man. Appreciate that. Throwing that in the change cup for the YouTube super chat. Need more defensive tackle depth. Any players you guys like? Puda Ford, Greg Gaines, Calais Campbell. # Aaron Rodgers Wednesday. # ayahuasca. enthusiast. Ooh, very nice. That enthusiast is a word that does not get enough play in today's society, Baki. So I appreciate that. We do need more defensive tackle depth, but according to Buffalo NFL Insider, the Jets were able to retain Solomon Thomas. So I appreciate him breaking that story on the show. So we do have him and Quinnen Williams, but obviously we're missing a lot of other guys. Poona Ford's a nice guy. He's a big boy. Greg Gaines, I saw him in the top 50 of the Bleacher Report, a little bit lower on the list. So we'll kind of see from him.
Who was
Calais
the guy
Campbell
on the practice squad that we Tanzel Smart? We'll see maybe if they value him as like.
But he got stolen. Remember, he got stolen, I believe, from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I thought that was Jonathan Marshall they took.
Oh, you're right, Jonathan Marshall. That's right. Yeah, I believe you're right. See, look at this. Look at Buffalo showing me up on my own show.
Every once in a while. Poona Ford. You know what's great about Poona Ford?
Yeah, he's a Seattle guy, right?
5'11", 316 pounds.
Wow. I didn't know he was that short. Wow, look at that. A little
like a
Sione
bowling ball, man.
action. Yeah. There you go. Juicy. Oh, phenomenal. I love that. So maybe some Poona Ford action. That'd be nice. Or like I said, our own version of Sione Pua on this team. And again, like here's a guy from history that we forget because of the injuries. Chris Jenkins, man. Having a mauler like that in the middle of your defensive line, again, that could also have affected some of those AFC Championship runs. That's neither here nor there. But like a guy like that, and again, I don't think it's on the same level of like Calais Campbell, who's very good in his own right, but like getting that kind of guy in there, I think could be great. And again, that's why the flirtation with Fletcher Cox really revved my engine, potentially bringing that kind of star power here. Let's throw another one up there, Buffalo, because I don't know if you know this, while you're breaking Solomon Thomas news on my show, I've got a pretty solid following myself. On Twitter, 11.8 thousand followers. Not that this is a pissing contest, but if it was, I'm beating you. But that's neither here nor there. But Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Rodgers commented on the Pat McAfee show when he heard that guy was on the list. He said, quote, I mean, first off, who wouldn't want Odell on their team? And because obviously me and Odell are tight. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, Buffalo. Let me throw this up on the screen. OBJ tweeting at me. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? With this cryptic message, hey, waving hand to the tweet of the Aaron Rodgers. Hey,
boy, green.
Is that like a?
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I didn't see that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that just happened. And that's actually the second time OBJ has interacted with me this offseason. The other one was when Sauce was trying to recruit him. I said, hey, potential? And he just kind of gave me the eyes emoji. I'm like, or he said one of his confusing philosophical OBJ things with the young kids. I think we tried to interpret it, actually. So OBJ hitting us up. Again, OBJ. And I get the money's crazy. Diana Rossini reported that he is seeking anywhere between 15 and 20 million per year. That's a little rich. But again, Aaron Rodgers' power, this is something, again, Jet fans are not used to. Having a guy like Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden people may go, what did I ask for? 15 million? I mean 7. I mean 5 with incentives. Like they may be willing to move and groove to join the team to try to make a Super Bowl chase, make a ring chase. I love OBJ. Bringing him back to New York, getting to shove that in the Giants' face, his star power. I think he's motivated as ever. And we'll get into motivation factors with Aaron Rodgers in a second with the new Super Bowl expectations as part of the headline. But OBJ, man, I'm intrigued. I want him. I know Matt O'Leary does not. He made a whole video about how he does not want OBJ. But boo, Matt O'Leary. Clearly the worst Jets content creator out there with those garbage-ass takes. But what say you, Buffalo?
I got to be in the Matt O'Leary camp on this one. I'm sorry, brother.
Oh, get out.
Well, now here's the thing. Does Odell Beckham make your football team better? Of course he does. Of course, if Odell Beckham is getting reps over Denzel Mims, your football team is better. Now, if he wants to come in on a 1-year deal that has a low base and like a bunch of incentives to where it's like if he looks like 2017 Odell Beckham, then he's making $15+ million, that's fine. But to me, to carve out that big of a chunk of the pie, like anything more than $10 million guaranteed, I'd rather see that money go to either offensive line or safety personally. Now, you can never have too many weapons, but it's a resource allocation thing with me. I'm okay with our receiver room as it stands. Now, the whole Beckham's personality and stuff, that stuff doesn't really a concern to me because it's subjective. I don't know about that. I'm not in the locker room, but I know he's 30-year-old wide receivers that have multiple ACL tears. Now, it sounds amazing. Aaron Rodgers throwing to Odell Beckham Jr., it sounds amazing.
Yeah, of course.
And again, if the money... not for that price. Again, if it's heavily incentivized, sure. I just think there's other areas of the roster I'd rather utilize resources to before we pay another receiver.
I know you said you can't speak on the personality and stuff because you don't know him. Again, since me and OBJ are so close, I can confirm the personality stuff. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We're cool. He's cool. It's cool. Just wanted to throw that out there. Another YouTube super chat coming in from Coach Alba joining us once again. Something to consider. Jets could get a comp pick. What the hell is a comp pick? I haven't heard one of those in like a decade here with the Jets. For losing Sheldon Rankins on that $10 million average deal, depends on how the defensive line market shakes out. By the way, currently, I saw the comp pick formula. Again, there's a lot to be figured out. Jets are going to get more guys and the rest. Jets are set to get a 7th-round comp pick, for Mike White to the Dolphins. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike White.
Pick. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions, pal. Thank you for your contributions. But yeah, there's a lot to be figured out. So, first off, the comp pick formula, from what I've heard, is incredibly complicated to explain and try to figure out. And the Jets are going to do more. So, that would be cool, and hopefully they do. Sheldon Rankins is a good player. I wouldn't have paid that much personally for Sheldon. Not to say anything wrong. Like, good that he got his money. I'm happy for him. Awesome. Good for him. I'm glad because I wouldn't have paid that. I think he's a good player, but I think the Jets are going to have to go in a different direction when it comes to their interior defense line. I would have taken a Fletcher Cox, who is obviously a lot more proven, track record, accolades, statistically in a different place than Sheldon Rankins, and who, by the way, got basically the same contract. So from that perspective, I feel a little differently. But overall, Coach, I will tell you that I'm not willing to dive too deep into the comp picks yet because of that, but it is a good point to bring up and potentially could come up there. I want to be a man of my word, Buffalo, so I want to go back to the headline of this video, Super Bowl expectations in 2023. And yes, by the way, Just Jim, I am the Boy Green OBJ Whisperer. I am going to add that to my Twitter bio immediately because I am. Again, we're incredibly tight. We're 2-piece in a pod. And we hang out every other weekend. But I just want to make sure
OBJ and PBG.
So you're good. By the way, I don't know when the PBG thing happened, but it's been a thing, and I'm seeing it like all the time now.
I became BJF, man. You just got to embrace it.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if it's your fault or whose fault. Like, I was in Green Bean, I kept seeing it. Like, if I comment in there, like, oh, PBG. And at first I'm like, oh, yeah, Paul Boy Green. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so apparently that's picking up steam.
So together, are we PBJ?
That's it. I mean, like that's it. By the way, you should, on your other new channel you made, because you have all the success and you're flexing on everybody, like, again, make sure you get the BJQ, whatever the hell that is. Maybe just change it to PBJ or whatever the hell you're going to settle on. That may be better for the hashtag for the brand. Something to know. Yes. Something to know. Just throw that out there. But anywho, back to these Super Bowl expectations for a second. In 2023, this is something I believe the Jets are getting. Coming off that Pat McAfee interview, it feels like pissed off Aaron Rodgers. It feels like chip on the shoulder Aaron Rodgers. And to get pissed off Aaron Rodgers, who's a year removed from back-to-back MVP titles, I don't think it's crazy to say the Jets have obviously never seen anything like that at the quarterback position in their history. And they're about to get it in 2023 at least, and we'll see what happens after that. I think Super Bowl expectations should be. And by the way, because this video, I set up the stream earlier tonight, people could react to the headline of the video. A lot of people said, no way. Super Bowl expectations, get a grip, guys. Guys, why else are you bringing Aaron Rodgers in? Is there something I'm missing? I'm sorry, playoffs? Are we like loser mentality? Of course we're going for a Super Bowl with the guy who checks notes, won a Super Bowl already. Idiots. I don't like insulting our viewers and listeners, but the hell? What are we talking about here? So yes, that should be the expectation. I think we're getting pissed off Rodgers. We're great for business and good for the Jets. Your thoughts? Super Bowl expectations, and apparently whether or not you're willing to dive into that pool, and whether or not you think we're going to get that kind of MVP level Rodgers.
And so Aaron Rodgers, like, I think it was the first MVP, not his most recent MVP year, but the one before it, I think it was 2020. He had maybe the most absurd statistical season I've ever seen. It was like 70 touchdowns, over 40, it was like 70% completion percentage, like 48 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. Just ridiculous. I don't think we're getting that, but I don't think we're also getting broken thumb rookie receivers, Aaron Rodgers of last year. And the middle of that is still what? I don't know. Like the only, who are a top 5 still quarterback? Who are the only quarterbacks that we know are better than Aaron Rodgers? To me, probably Mahomes and Burrow. Like that, are better.
Yeah, probably only Mahomes, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be crazy. I think again, when we were doing this on the radio show, people said, "Hey, what do you think?" I'm like, he's a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback at worst, and they said, "No way." They went, "Josh Allen, this." I'm like, it's Aaron freaking Rodgers. What the hell are we talking about here?
Aaron Rodgers has as many MVPs and more Super Bowl wins than Josh Allen's entire franchise. So once Josh Allen has more playoff wins than Mark Sanchez and he sniffed the Super Bowl, then he could be better than Aaron Rodgers. Like, and maybe that changes. Maybe Aaron Rodgers does fall off a cliff and Josh Allen stops leading the league in turnovers and almost getting Skylar Thompson out of the playoffs. But again, Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP. Josh Allen has been, it's only been 4 years that he's been good. And he doesn't even have an all-pro, or he hasn't even been to a Super Bowl. Like, let's not, I think we're, I think we like we've lost our minds. I think we only watched that last, did everyone only watch Aaron Rodgers last year?
Apparently.
He was Mahomes before Mahomes. This guy is one of maybe the best thrower of the football, the top 3, like best arms. Dude, yeah, I think I would probably say Mahomes. I'd probably say Burrow. If you want to fight me, it's close with Josh Allen because Josh Allen's mobility. The point is he's an elite quarterback, right? And if you have one of those, and if you, as my lights go out, and if you have one of those and you have an elite defense.
Oh, that actually looks great. Keep it. Keep it.
You got a damn
fantastic,
shot.
Actually. Yeah, I actually love this look. This is a nice vibe.
We'll roll with it.
I like what's happening here. By the way, because you just brought it up, I'll just bring up the stats because, like, I feel like everyone knows Aaron Rodgers' stats, but look at these. Look at these numbers, people. Over the last bunch of years, it goes reverse chronological. Most recent at the bottom works their way up. Look at some of these numbers. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks. The year before, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks. The year before, 48 touchdowns, 5 picks.
48. What? Let's look at those two. Let's look at the last 3 years combined. So if we look at the last 3 years combined, let's do some very, very quick math. Okay, we got 70, 85. Okay, 85, 105, 111. That is 111, and that is 111 touchdowns to 20. What is that? 21 picks.
21 picks, correct.
For the last 3 years? Are you kidding me?
Like, that's my crazy. Brain cannot compute. My brain can't compute
9.6 yards per attempt in 2020. That is absurd.
Come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Look what we're getting, people. This is, again, the part that I remember as Jet fans. There have been times where we're like, first down. Nice, man. First down. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers like,
it's third and 5, and you feel like the stars have to align. You're like, you're like praying, like, please, like, just get a slant for 6 yards. I'll do anything.
Or like, they get stopped early and late flag, like, first down. Hey, first down.
Yeah. Or we get an incompletion and we're just glad we didn't like turn it over or get a sack. We're like,
right. God. And then you're like waiting for the no flag. You're like, PI. Nothing? Okay, cool. So again, it's just we're talking about a world that none of us are familiar with. We've all seen Aaron Rodgers for another team, but on your own team in that color, I just can't, man. That's just I just absolutely can't. So, by the way, Super Bowl expectation should be it. I saw we got another super chat. So, by the way, if you guys have any of those ones here before we get Buffalo out of here, feel free to send those in. I think we had another one for Baki. There he is. Okay, let's throw it back up there. Yes, again, OBJ Whisperer. That is my name. Baki. OBJ could take less to play in New York with Rodgers, knowing he would make more money off the field. That's interesting. I didn't consider that as part of the package. Which, again, we talk about NIL in college, but obviously all the marketing opportunities. And then, again, think about that coming back to New York. He would have that everywhere. All eyes will be on the Jets. He wants a piece of that pie. That's a great point. Again, the take less money, we kind of explored that, and I thought incentives-based, because, again, if you incentives it up, that means he's doing all these wonderful things, and you should be happy to pay him whatever those bonuses are. But to your point, to take less potentially for all the sponsorship opportunities and everything he could do, sneaky, great idea, Baki. Sneaky way potentially for that to make up some ground. Everyone talks about New York and how it sucks. The taxes. There's other unique benefits to being in New York. You just named one of them, Baki, of the sponsorship opportunity. So
right.
There we go. By the way, Buffalo, I heard you did this, and I wonder if you meant to blow it up in this way. I see Infrared says, hey, BJF, where's my Rodgers jersey? I don't know if he was the guy, but I did see that you did the Aaron Rodgers contest. Did you think that was going to blow up as quickly as it did?
No, so now I'm like, wait a minute. So this is how many people actually see my tweets. You guys just ignore them because I put that in there and it was like boom, 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 boom. I think it was like 2,500 people retweeted it. I did pick a winner. It was a guy I didn't know, but it wasn't you. Unless this is a different account. But his name was Luke M. So I reached out to him. So once those drop, I will send a jersey to Luke M. and he can post a picture to confirm that I'm a man. I'm a man of the people.
That's good to hear. By the way, this is a question because I'm not even kidding. I'm getting an Aaron Rodgers jersey for myself, my fiance, and my 1-year-old baby. We're all getting Rodgers jerseys. So maybe I guess the answer is within itself. We each get one different. Which one would you get if you could only pick one Rodgers jersey? Stealth black, Gotham green, spotlight white. What are you getting, Buffalo, and strutting around and wearing? We need to know.
I'm getting the black.
Me too. That was the answer we ultimately came up with. I think the stealth black is the correct choice. I think that looks sexy. I think white it could get dirty. I've got white, but then once you get it dirty, it's just over. It's just over.
The white is the crispest look, but you got to keep it really clean.
And it's got to be very again, you can't go to a tailgate with a white jersey on. What's going to be happening? I mean, all hell could break loose. We'll end on one or two of these. Gangrene saying, when should we induct Trey Wingo into the Ring of Honor, before or after the Super Bowl win? I just have to say that Trey Wingo, obviously, remember when he sent out that very initial first tweet and he was talking about the Jets and Rodgers meeting, everyone went, Trey Wingo. And then he was right. And then all of us went, wait a second here. And then we have the second one, which came on Tuesday at 2:52. This trade is going to happen. And then now, obviously, he just said, hope you guys are having a fun day. Obviously, he was having a lot of fun, and Aaron Rodgers confirming anything and everything he said. So he is inside the circle of trust. So Trey Wingo, he is the legend none of us knew we needed in Jet social media land. So a major shout out to this is just crazy, former ESPN SportsCenter anchor, and God, I don't know how he has the sources, but God bless Trey Wingo, an absolute legend, Buffalo. I did not see this coming this offseason, man.
Good for Trey Wingo, man. And I think people have been, now I know he's not known as an insider, but it's not like he's a complete random. Like the dude's been in the business longer than they've been alive. But we did not expect this to come from Wingo. Now he did have credible reporting on it last year, and obviously him and Rossini were on it from the jump. So yeah, man, good for Trey Wingo. I wonder, does he know Aaron Rodgers? I wonder who is maybe
because
I don't know.
I feel like he has to just straight up know Rodgers, which, by the way, is weird because it doesn't seem like Rodgers likes media people from that standpoint of allowing them that close. But it almost felt like Trey Wingo handed him a card. Trey Wingo handed Aaron Rodgers a card, and he checked off everything that Trey Wingo said, and weirdly specifically, like the deal's been done since Friday. Exactly what Trey Wingo said. The media stuff of it's not his fault. Aaron Rodgers immediately addresses that, says, oh, it's all on the Packers. Just the way that he had it almost sounded like he spoke directly with Rodgers. I don't know, man. It's eerie. I think he has to be in Rodgers' inner circle, which again just has to be weird. There must be some connection there, obviously, that I'm not aware of. Like one potential connection they kind of talked about is Kevin Harlan's father worked for the Packers and he's a broadcaster, so maybe Harlan to Wingo. I'm wild. I'm that guy on the GIF of the wall and the rubber bands everywhere, but that it could be something like that. But it sounded like he straight up knew Rodgers. I just have to say.
Yeah, that's got to be it, because even Rodgers' isn't giving his agent permission to anybody. You know what I mean? Rodgers is doing that himself. Yeah. Now, Boy Green, we do have breaking news again. The Jets are losing wide receiver Jeff Smith, just signed with the Giants.
Another rival. Why are we just losing these guys? Jeff Smith to the Giants. All right, who's on that? Who's on that story? Who was it? Pelissero again? Yeah. Oh, man, Pelissero's been nailing it. Shout out to Pelissero. Again, Jeff Smith, ultimately, for all the people that really got angry about this, Randall Cobb's replacing Jeff Smith. That's what's happening as wide receiver 5. I just don't understand why people lose their bananas. Randall Cobb, blow up the core.
Well, he's replacing the thing Jeff is, Smith. It could go south. He's a 4-year-old quarterback. Maybe he just becomes washed. That's real. But let's talk about the concerns that are real. Randall Cobb and Mercedes Lewis replacing Jeff Smith and Kenny Yeboah. Who cares?
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Let me go back to you, Buffalo, because I'm curious. Because, again, I haven't, unfortunately, guys, I'm a little behind because I did the live stream with the McAfee show. That was like an hour and a half, and then I was just diving into McAfee stuff. So I have not gotten a chance to thoroughly enjoy. I saw a few people were doing watch parties, Matt O'Leary, Jets Talk 24/7 and a few others. So I've not really fully seen that. But it seemed like the sense I got is Jet Nation was losing their crap that Aaron Rodgers seems to be coming to the Jets. Buffalo, at the top of this, you kind of said, I will pop my bubbly when the trade's official and things of that nature. So what was your reaction? Because I don't know if you were doing a live stream for it. What was your reaction then when Aaron Rodgers said, I want to go to the Jets? Were you tame? Like, it seems like, again, you were kind of withholding yourself for fear that maybe it's not complete yet or what? Like, I don't know. I'm curious before we get out of here on that topic.
No, so for me, the Trey Wingo tweet and doubling down got me 90% of the way. And now I'm 99.99, like however percentage of germs that Lysol disinfectant wipes kill. that's how far, that's how pretty much how far I am. So no, he's going to be our quarterback. No, Boy Green, do yourself a favor and a shameless plug for my channel, because it's funny. After you get off of here, do what you got to do.
Okay.
Go to my channel. I did a stream a couple hours ago and just watch the opening monologue, because I go on a rant and it's hilarious. You're gonna love it.
Okay. Well, there you go. That is beautiful.
It'll answer your question on how I feel about this situation.
Okay, because again, you just seem so tame right now. So hopefully you just unloaded the clip and then you're coming in here and you're just kind of like
I'm mellowing out now.
So I'm hoping that's it. We just got another super chat in. So guys, we'll answer this and then we'll get out of here. Jets Cubs fan 29, who's been a loyal supporter of the show. Always appreciate it, pal. Just got packed from Punta Cana. Let's get it straight. He wants to play for us, but it's not official. Confused. The Wi-Fi sucks in paradise. Congrats on 4K. Yeah, let's run it back for, again, I know a lot of people come in and out. Here's the big thing that we were waiting for. Aaron Rodgers publicly saying, I want to go to the Jets. We had not heard that anywhere, obviously, from anyone. We've heard insiders say some things, but nothing official of Aaron Rodgers saying, I want to go to the Jets. He said he's going to the Jets. Of course, he's still under contract with the Green Bay Packers. So he could say whatever he wants, but like they still technically control his rights. However, the leverage has now changed, in my opinion, because I know some people feel differently in the chat. I can see. I feel like with Aaron Rodgers saying I'm going to the Jets, and Aaron and then the Packers, Mark Murphy, and everyone talking in past tense, it seems like now a mere formality that Aaron Rodgers is coming to the Jets. He said he's playing football in 2023. He's not going back to the Packers, so he's not retiring, and he wants to play for the Jets. Everything has been checked off outside of the trade, and Trey Wingo says the trade is 99% done. So it can be official now because technically we're in the new league year, so it could become official at any point. And it seems like we're just waiting for a handshake, and then it's done. Trey Wingo also reported, let's throw this additional nugget out there, Aaron Rodgers is planning on flying to New York. The only reason I could imagine you're doing that, because, again, we're not in any of the offseason training things yet, that's not for another month, is Aaron Rodgers potentially being introduced. So if he is flying up here, that could indicate the formality of a trade is set to hit next week, which is what Trey Wingo indicated initially in the thing yesterday. So I'm sorry your Wi-Fi sucks. Enjoy Punta Cana and enjoy the Aaron Rodgers cherry on top of the pie. But it's not official because the trade has not been complete. But to me, the trade's just going to happen. Now that we've heard the Rodgers bit, I'm Buffalo's on the Lysol 99% special. I'm on 100%. Now that he said that, he's here. I celebrated. I told my fiance, this is the greatest day of my life with our baby in the car. So take that for whatever you will. And boom, that this is happening and it's real. So guys, that's where I'm at. Different strokes, different folks. I still see, we even still have a few people in this chat right now, I can't believe it, that are saying like, hey, well, hold your horses, wait till it's official. I'm not celebrating yet. If you choose to wait to that point, God bless. But for me, I'm all in.
Yeah, well, look, Boy Green, so me and my wife are welcoming our first child 2 months from now. So I'm really looking forward
2 months from now?
Yeah, so in 2 months, that will be the second best day of my life. So today.
That's amazing. I hope you put that like on a t-shirt for when. Is it a boy or a girl?
Girl.
Okay, girl dad. So you join the club, pal.
Yeah.
But I hope that like when she's born, or you're taking those first pictures. This is the second best day of my life. I hope that's the shirt with the baby.
And on the back, it just says "Lose my number."
That would be amazing. So again, we have time. Set that up, Buffalo. Which everyone will remember it forever. Some, I guess, for different reasons potentially. But yes, I do think that's the way to go. So amazing. Well. Just got to say, guys, congratulations, Jet fans. I was saying it earlier in the day when Schefter. So we had the Trey Wingo thing late last night, and then we had Schefter this morning saying he would not be surprised if on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers says he's going to the Jets. I said, it's happening, guys. I believe it. It's going to happen. And, some catching up by Schefter to do. Very nice to cover your bases. But, that, again, you guys enjoy this, Jet fans. We deserve it. It's going to be a fun offseason. Now that we have Aaron Rodgers unofficially, it's just going to be a wild offseason. And it was cool to celebrate that with you guys tonight and today. And a shout-out for tomorrow. What is it called? Diehards, Jets Twitter, drops tomorrow. That is the Jets documentary that I was featured in. So, guys, that'll be dropping on the Jets social media portals. Nice. Unfortunately, because of the unofficial nature, I don't think they can include any of the fun stuff about anything Aaron Rodgers in it, unfortunately. Maybe they could do a couple teases because, of course, we were asked about the quarterback situation, and I gave this crazy rant on Aaron Rodgers and Super Bowls and stuff. We'll see if they include that kind of stuff in there. I don't know. But that is dropping tomorrow. So there's my personal shout-out for the Jets show. That'll be dropping tomorrow. Buffalo, what do you got on the channel? What's coming up, brother? Set us up.
Dude, I just been kind of grinding on waiting for Aaron Rodgers stuff, so I don't have a ton of stuff in the works. But, I try to put out content every day. I think now we'll probably be looking at, now we can probably at least try to build a team around Aaron Rodgers. I think we can be confident in that. Only thing that's still over our head is the draft compensation. So mock draft season, do we have pick 13? I guess we'll assume we do. But just come by. Jets content every day. Try to do a lot more live shows. You'll see Paul Boy Green on there next Wednesday. So hopefully next Wednesday, the deal is done.
See, that's only fair. With me kind of riding the wave of all this excitement and the great video that we've had so far, I think it's only fair on the other side that you get the trade official, and then maybe the week after that we get the press conference. So it could kind of layer out to support both of us. I think that would be for the best. It looks like all you guys enjoyed it. I'm seeing all your guys' comments. Again, guys, enjoy. This was groovy. It was amazing, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And, again, Buffalo Jet Fans YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and check it out. Thanks, everybody.
And if I could steal 1 second,
yes.
Please do. I just want to say thank you to everybody because, this has been the amount of, the streamers that we've had going 6 hours and people.
My gosh.
Because I know people, especially with me, I work all day. So by the time they come to our videos, I know you have a different day job too. They've already seen Jake Asman. They've already seen Matt O'Leary. Jet Central uploads the video before anybody even knows anything happened. So the fact that, you're still coming by and supporting, it's been awesome. And it has made it so much more fun to experience this madness together. So I just wanted to say thank you, everybody.
No, that's just real quick. That's a great point before we sign off that, I think someone tweeted it out about it, but that we have 20. I don't really know the number of the Jets content creators we have that's cranking out a bunch of content. We have a lot of really good ones, but that we've been passing the baton back and forth, like Matt O'Leary going for 3 or 4 hours, Jake Asman, boom, 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 to Buffalo, to Boy Green, to all the Jets 24 and all these guys, like boom, 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 boom. And you guys have just had essentially wall-to-wall coverage, like a TV show, a 24/7 network. All right, let's go to the next next show. We've got Buffalo. And Buffalo's
cool,
all right, it's Jake Asman. It's crazy. It's crazy. I hope other fan bases are like this and they've got all kinds of craziness, but I don't know if they do. But it's just elite to have this. And again, I've said it before that it's going to be all worth it, guys. Going through all the crap, like last year, 4 different quarterbacks, like get the flying hoot out of here. And then this year to potentially have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's just going to be fun and we should all enjoy it. So there you go. Perfectly said. PBG and BJF. There you go. Ask for that at your local McDonald's. They'll give you the special. That's for damn sure. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you around. Thanks for tuning in.